What's up everybody, Adam here. In this video, I'm gonna walk you through the exact process that I put together that allows you to identify your niche and to find a product that you can launch on TikTok Shop and on Amazon and to get your e-commerce business up and running right away. It's a process that I put together after 12 plus years of experience brand building in e-commerce, after launching, scaling, and selling 4 multi-million-dollar brands, and after launching, scaling, and selling one of the largest Amazon agencies in the world with over 340 employees. The reason why I put together this video is because a lot of people come to me wanting to start an e-commerce business, and the first question out of almost everybody's mouth is, what product should I do? Or they have a product idea in mind or a niche, but they haven't really done any of the data research and finding the kind of key indicators that will determine if that product or niche is actually going to be successful. So I thought I would share with you my process on how you can go from no idea, no product, no experience at all, to having a niche and a set of product ideas that you can get started with, launching on TikTok Shop and Amazon right away. So let's get into it. Now, before I get started, if you don't know who I am, my name is Adam. I've been in the e-commerce space since 2012, and over the years I've built, scaled, and sold 4 multi-million-dollar e-commerce brands. I've also built, scaled, and sold one of the largest Amazon agencies in the world called 3BG. At our peak, we had over 340 employees and offices all around the world. And I've also raised over 8 figures in venture capital for a software as a service company that I co-founded with 2 other founders. So I am qualified to talk about this. I've been doing it for a long time at a high level, and I'm here to help you get started right away. Why are we in the golden era of e-commerce? Well, it's pretty straightforward. There's 3 main factors that are driving this unique opportunity that, in my opinion, has never existed before and has enabled anybody to build multi-million-dollar brands faster than I've ever seen before. The first factor is TikTok Shop. You see, before TikTok Shop and shoppable videos and the affiliate program came along, it was very expensive to launch a product. You had to do giveaways, you had to pay pay-per-click ads, and you had to pay influencers to promote your product without really being sure if you were going to generate a return on that or not. Now, that's completely changed now with TikTok Shop, because all you need to do is send your product to a bunch of affiliates. They make content about your product, and you only have to pay them after a sale gets made. And if you find the right creators and you create content that goes viral, you're going to drive an insane amount of sales with very little spend up front. This is completely game changing, and it's enabled anybody to launch a multi-million-dollar brand faster than ever before. Now, the second factor is AI. You see, when I had my agency and when I was building my brands, I had to pay a bunch of different people to do things like brand building, design work, script writing, content writing, listings writing, basically everything, customer service, the whole 9. AI has completely changed that now, and one person can build a company that has the same output as a company with 50 employees. And this is all because of AI. AI has completely changed the way that we build brands, build businesses, and it's leveled the playing field where you can do the work of 50 people in a day, and where it used to take you a week or a month even, AI has enabled that, and it's unlocking the craziest productivity that's probably ever existed before. So take advantage. Thirdly, we have a fundamental shift that's happening in consumer behavior. People are much more comfortable discovering products on social media now. And Amazon, for example, works off of a ranking mechanism that's all about velocity and conversion rates and getting ranked for specific keywords, whereas TikTok Shop, for example, is just about how good the content is and how viral the video goes. And that also has nothing to do with the number of followers somebody has. So it's really democratized the way that you can market your product, and it's enabled people with very low budgets to build multi-million-dollar brands by taking advantage of the change in the way people find products, the way they discover new products, and the way they buy products, because they can buy directly from within the TikTok Shop app via the shoppable videos, and this is the most frictionless way of buying. All these factors together has created this unparalleled opportunity, and I'm going to show you how to take advantage of it and make FU money and change your life just like I did, and create an e-commerce empire. I've been building and selling e-commerce brands since 2012, and because of that, I've learned a lot of things along the way through trial and error. The thing is, there's a lot of information out there. Most of the people selling you on how to do this have never actually done it themselves. They've never built the brands. They've never scaled them into the millions. They've never sold businesses for life-changing amounts of money. They never had agencies of the size that I had. They'd never raised venture capital money. So I decided to change that. And because of this, I'm working with people who are serious about taking advantage of this opportunity that we have. Again, we're in the golden era of e-commerce. It's never been easier to build a multi-billion-dollar business. And I put together an entire system on how to get started, how to launch your product, how to leverage TikTok Shop, how to leverage Amazon and AI, and quickly build and scale a business that's making millions of dollars in revenue, very profitably, and also sets you up for an exit like I've had multiple times, which is going to give you that life-changing amount of money that, real generational wealth, basically. So if you're interested in joining the program, there's a link in the description below. I have a 30-minute consultation call that I'm offering to anybody who wants to take advantage of it. It's totally free. You're going to talk to me personally. So if you're serious about building a brand and you want to get started right away, book a free consultation call via the link in the description below. All right, let's get into it. This next section is all about finding your niche and identifying growing categories, which will give you the starting off point for identifying great products that you can then bring to market under your own brand. There's millions of products that you can launch, but the truth is that some are better than others, and there's a lot of reasons why some are better than others, which we'll discuss in this next section. In order to find great products, we need to first know how to identify your own areas of interest, your own skills, and then look at the trends that are both growing and things that are long-term, because we don't want to enter into markets that are shrinking or things that are just trendy in the moment that are going to go away the next. And this section is all about helping you identify those things that align with your own personal interests, because we're building a real brand here, and that means you have to be committed to it. And part of building a great product or a great brand stems from having a genuine curiosity and interest in what you're building. Now, there's a big difference between growing long-term market opportunities versus trends. And when I talk about trends, there's really two kinds of trends, right? Trends aren't always bad if they're long-term. Short-term trends are not good. So when we talk about long-term trends, it's things that are steadily increasing. The market size seems to keep going up. There's more opportunity in the space. Those are the good kind of trends. Short-term trends are things that maybe pop 1 minute and fizzle the next. And the truth is they're generally pretty easy to identify based on a couple of factors. But if we think about long-term trends, we can talk about some examples there, like, for example, pet care, right? It's increasing in popularity. It's only going to get bigger. People love their pets. People are feeling more lonely than ever. Pets fill that need in some way. And people have disposable income and they want to spend on their pets. They're more inclined to buy things for their pets, take better care of them, treat them like a family member. People are having less kids than before. People are having no kids. So pets kind of fill this need, and you can just take a look at Google search and Google Trends search and see that over time, the pet care industry and niche is growing. And they're going to spend more on pets than ever before because they're part of the family and for the reasons I just listed. And that's why pet care is a great niche to go into if you're thinking about something that has a long-term trend. It's not like tomorrow people are going to wake up and decide that they don't want to own pets anymore, or they don't want to spend money on their pets. People are always going to own pets. People are always going to spend money on them. And the data tells us that they're spending even more than ever on pets. Now, short-term trends, stuff like fidget spinners, stuff that's hot now, but not tomorrow. These things are generally pretty easy to spot, right? It's not like a growing category. It's not something that, fidget spinners are going to be, growing in popularity forever. it had a huge spike in interest, and then it just kind of fizzled out. It got super competitive, and it's just trendy. It's something that people were into for a little while, and then they kind of moved on to the next thing. And it's hard to make long-term money on these kind of things because it's so short-lived. So you always need to kind of find the next new thing. Now, that's a great example of a short-term trend. However, you could think a little bit here and understand why fidget spinners became popular. And I would say in there is an actual long-term trend, which is around anxiety support. So people bought fidget spinners because they were kind of an anxiety, fidget product, something that's a sensory product. That space is growing. So, there is a lesson in there, and that the product itself was a short-term trend, but that category of, anxiety support, sensory support, those kind of things, that's actually growing. And so that's an example of the difference between a long-term trend and a short-term trend. I want you to remember this equation: a growing problem plus an emotional effect plus a solution and an ideal outcome is money. All right. This is the secret formula for identifying a category that's going to make you a lot of money. Is it a problem that's increasing? Has it been slowly trending up over time? Is there an emotional effect? Is there, some sort of psychological element to this? Does it, make you feel more attractive? Does it make you feel more confident? Does it relieve anxiety? And then the solution that you're providing, is there one that's clear that exists? And does it get that person to their ideal outcome? If you can solve this solution, you are going to make money with your product. And just an example of what a product life cycle curve looks like. You may or may not have heard this term before, but I think it's important to understand this as someone launching a physical product brand. Every product goes through a product life cycle curve. And no matter what your product is, at some point, it will reach a level of maturity and it will start to decline. And at that point, you should have already been way ahead of the curve and coming up with new variations of the product. You should be improving it. You should be launching new products, that kind of thing. An example of this is like an iPhone 1, right? Obviously, when it got introduced, there was nothing else like it on the market. It exploded in popularity. It was super novel, and it became kind of this very exciting thing that everybody was talking about and everybody wanted one. And over time, it matures and declines. You're not going to keep buying an iPhone 1, 20 years after it's released. And so Apple has iterated on their product. Every year, every 2 years, they make major upgrades to their product. And over time, it gets iteratively better and better. And this is a way to combat the effects of the product life cycle curve. So sales on the left side and on the bottom, you have the time on market. And so what you want to always be doing is getting ahead of this life cycle curve and, again, introducing, better versions of your product, updates to it, new things, staying ahead of the curve so that you don't lose out on it. Here are some ways to help you identify market trends and some tools you can use to understand, what's a long-term trend, what's a short-term trend, and use that to your advantage in identifying products. The first is actually using TikTok's For You page. So TikTok's For You page often showcases products or ideas going viral. I want you to spend time scrolling through some relevant hashtags or categories to find trends as they emerge. Again, keeping in mind long-term versus short-term trends. One of the hashtags you can use is TikTok made me buy it. You could also look up a bunch of new relevant hashtags, and we can provide you with a list of those that you're going to train your For You page with so that you get recommended products. Now, this doesn't mean that you hop on every product that pops up on TikTok, because a lot of them are just short-term trends, but you want to find the broader trend as a base point to start your product search for and make sure that it's growing. You can also use Helium 10 for e-commerce insight. There's also a tool in there called Black Box that actually gives you product ideas. And it's a really just amazing tool that I would suggest highly familiarizing yourself with, because you're going to be able to find tons of products in there that are relevant. Another tool is called Exploding Topics. And Exploding Topics tracks trending topics across different industries. You can browse all kind of stuff. You can come up with niche ideas. It gives you specific products, specific brand names, if those are gaining attention or losing attention, and how those are trending over a 1 or 2 or 5 year period. This is an amazing tool because it shows long-term trend data, so you can get a real perspective on where they are in the growth curve. And you can also track, again, specific brands or specific keywords and product searches that will give you so much information and so many great ideas. And the other tool you can use is Google Trends. This is free, and it basically allows you just to kind of search for specific keywords related to your niche of choice and see how interest has changed over time. And when you're using Google Trends, just make sure you set it to your region and use those as ways to identify market trends. Now, for the next couple sections, you're going to need some tools. The first is going to be the niche ID spreadsheet, which is linked to in the course documentation. You'll use this to help you initially explore areas of interest and find a direction for products of interest. You'll also need the product research spreadsheet, which we put together, and you'll use that to fill out product ideas. And then you should use Figma as well for visual identification. The reason why we are big proponents of Figma is because there's a way to organize information as far as, quantitative data, meaning numbers, keyword search volume, stuff that you're going to put into a database essentially. And then there's the visual things, right? And I find that those two things together give you a really full picture of information. So you want to be able to, screenshot things, put them in, and visually organize the data as well. And that's what Figma is used for. Now, why do I have a picture of Jeff Bezos here? Well, not only is he one of the richest men in the world and has built one of the greatest businesses in the world, and he's also made me very rich through the Amazon platform, he also said something that I find very interesting. And what he said was, "I strongly believe that missionaries make better products. They care more. For a missionary, it's not just about the business. There has to be a business, and the business has to make sense. But that's not why you do it. You do it because you have something that motivates you." And the reason why this is so relevant is because choosing a niche is one of the most important steps in building a successful business. Your niche is where you're going to focus your expertise, your energy, your creativity, your resources. It's essential to find a niche that excites you and aligns with your interests. This is going to sustain your motivation and dedication over time. And that's why it's so important to be a missionary, be somebody who believes in your product. And the way you do that is not by faking it. You have to genuinely care. And so if you're not interested in a particular subject, I don't advise you to go building a business around that subject. I think it can be done, but in the long run, it's just not going to align with your personal interests and your belief systems and things that genuinely make you curious. And that's what great businesses are built on, is this kind of curiosity and this idea of being a missionary. It's not just about the business. It has to be bigger than that. And I think that's a critical place to start when it comes to identifying products that you want to sell. Now, we're going to go through this guided exercise, which is all about how to use the niche ID spreadsheet. Okay, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to access the spreadsheet. You're going to go in and find the niche ID spreadsheet. Now, the next section is all about this guided exercise using the niche ID spreadsheet, and we're going to do it together. You're going to access the spreadsheet. The link is in the course documentation. This workbook will help you clarify your strengths and passions and align them with market opportunities. I want you to brainstorm your interests and skills, your hobbies. Think broadly, but get as many of them in there as possible. I want you to think from your professional expertise, your personal interest, your unique combination of skills and passions, and they're going to form your foundation of your niche. And this workbook is also going to help you define kind of who the potential audience is. I want you to consider who would benefit or be interested in your potential products. Think a little bit about the age, the gender, the location, specific problems or needs that this audience may have. You don't need to write all of that down, but it's just to give you a sense of like, okay, well, this is what I'm interested in. This is what I like. This is who might buy this product. And then from there, we're going to narrow down potential niches. So we're going to start broad, and then we're going to narrow down to ones where you're most excited about, where you have genuine enthusiasm, where there's a market need. And then we're going to reflect on the results, right? We want to consider what excites you the most. And remember that you're going to be dedicating significant amount of time and effort to this. So it's essential to choose one that resonates with you. And then again, why this step matters? Well, go back to that Jeff Bezos quotes. It gives you direction, gives you focus. You want to have some belief in what you're building, some passion, and that's going to translate into your product. And I think it's super important to go through this exercise and use it as a basis for picking products when it comes time to actually do it. Okay, we're here in the Niche ID exercise workbook, and this is pretty straightforward. It's pretty simple. I don't want you to overcomplicate this part because this isn't really where we're going to find a product per se. We'll do a deeper dive on product research using FastMoss and using Helium 10. This is really just to help you identify some areas of interest and places to start, to kind of see like, hey, are there some niches in here? Are there some things that might be of interest as far as products go? And eventually we'll use actual data to quantify a lot of this stuff, but this is just to get your interests and passions down so you can have a good starting point. And to do this, you'll just need this spreadsheet. You'll need ChatGPT and Amazon.com, because you're going to look up a couple products and see what comes up, just to give you ideas. And ChatGPT is your co-pilot in this process if you get stuck. Now, I already started to fill out column A here, and that's basically where you're just going to put some of your interests and passions. And I want you to list as many as you can. Again, this whole process shouldn't take more than an hour. Like, don't spend hours on this. It's just to give you a sense of where to start. But this is important, though, to get your interests and passions and things that you're good at too, right? Maybe it's something that you don't love to do, but you're good at it. It's also, an area of interest too. Although I would say that usually we're good at the things that we like because we put a lot of energy in getting better at it, but it could be something from work, for example, that you're good at. Put that in there, right? So for me, I've got health hacking, I've got fashion and menswear, I've got home design, I've got beauty and skincare, hiking in the outdoors, pets, dogs, e-commerce. I like coffee and gourmet teas, really into watercolor painting. I have guitar, keyboard, and music, and I'll add one more, which is fatherhood and parenting. So once I filled that out, I'm going to start to rank them in my level of interest, 3 being the highest, 1 being the lowest. This just helps you kind of narrow down, places where stuff that you might have listed on here that you're kind of not that interested in, but you put it anyway. This will help us kind of filter these down. So the health hacking is the highest for me. I really, really like that. I would say menswear is a bit low. Home design is like a bit low too. Beauty and skincare, definitely hugely interested in that. Hiking in the outdoors, I give that a 2. Pets and dogs, I'll give that a 2. E-commerce, extremely interesting to me. Coffee and gourmet coffees and teas, yeah, it's kind of interesting. Watercolor painting, I do like. Music, I'm pretty into. And fatherhood and parenting, I would give that a 3 for sure. That's super high level of interest for me. So you can easily see what's more interesting to you, right? And this kind of gives you get more direction, filtering down to get a sense of, hey, where should I focus my time and energy on? And if I'm going to build a product for the next couple of years or build a brand, this is where I want to be in. Now you're going to start thinking about the top skills within the interests and passions, right? So this is where you kind of say, all right, I'm good at this element, or I know a lot about this when it comes to my interest. So I'm just going to start filling this out here. And again, don't hold back, it doesn't need to be perfect. Just get these on paper. So for health hacking, definitely I would say sleep supplements and sleep nutrition, big on that. I'd say neurotropics, hope I spelled this correctly, neurotropics and brain care. Another thing about health hacking is, working out and, getting fit. I'd say fasting, healthy foods, organic foods. I would say, what else? Top skills within that space. Mental health too, right? So mental health, journaling, writing ideas, let's say anxiety support and reduction of anxiety. Now you can keep going as many as you want here, just add more lines, but I mean that's a good amount for right now. So I'll go through fashion and menswear. So, what do I like about that? I like, I would say, simple fashion, men's clothing. I like, luxury goods that's simple. I like stuff with no logos. I like sportswear and athletic wear. I really like loungewear, PJs. I think that's about it for there. Home design. All right, so this is where things get interesting. Like, I don't know, artwork, and art prints. That's always fun. I'm interested in that kind of stuff. I really like, I would say ergonomic furniture and design. Really into like Japanese inspired design. I like Scandinavian design. I like, functional kitchen appliances, stuff that makes my life easier when I cook. Technology as well. All right, let's move on to beauty and skincare, right? So definitely men's skincare and skin health. Supplements for skincare. Really into like organic stuff and like no chemicals, like things like beef tallow, natural skincare products. I don't really use beauty products myself, but I know my wife does quite a bit. She's really particular about it. She loves Korean skincare products. She finds that really interesting. By de facto, I've learned a lot about it. All right, hiking and outdoors. So really like stuff like, survival gear. Think like, I don't know, stuff that's all about surviving in the outdoors. Camping products. Really like also prepping stuff, right? Bug out bags. I love reading about this stuff. So like guides and journals for outdoors. I'm into fishing too. Fishing, like hunting, knife skills, etc. All right, let's move on to pets and dogs. So pets, dogs. Yeah, so like organic dog food, definitely. My kids love their fish, so, fish supplies, fish care, and food. I like, healthy dog grooming stuff. So things that don't have a lot of chemicals. Obviously dog toys, dog shelter products. Just dog care as a whole. Okay. Anyway, you can keep going down this whole list. So I hope this gives you a sense of like what you should be putting within here. And as you can see, just by thinking without even using ChatGPT or Amazon, I already come up with what could potentially be a lot of products, right? And what you want to do next is just work through these next two categories. So I'll just focus on the health hacking and the beauty and skincare because those are the highest rating ones as far as levels of interest. And I also just know, from my own experience that these are things that do really well on TikTok and on Amazon because they're tapping into a very serious emotional need for people, which is like in this case, sleep and being healthy and being fit and attractive. And then the same thing with beauty and skincare, right? It's all about appearances, confidence. Anything with an emotional appeal is always going to have a better kind of opportunity size, in my opinion. And the same goes for hiking out and outdoors as well, actually. I mean, that's something that people really, really love. It makes them feel good to be outside. There is this certain level of emotional appeal to it because we live in a modern society, and I think a lot of people are rejecting some of those things. That's a long-term trend for sure that you could focus on. But for now, I'll just stick to these two just for the sake of this exercise. So if I think about niches, right, what you could do is, what I would do is I would just take all of this, copy it, and I would say, I need help brainstorming 5 niches and 5 products within those niches based on an exercise I've done, where I've listed my skills and interests in a category, and I've listed my top in the category. I just put that there. Here is what I wrote. Then you'll just paste that in there. And let's see what ChatGPT gives us. So we have a couple of niches, right? We have sleep optimization, we have brain care and mental performance, we have fitness and physical wellness, we've got stress and anxiety relief, we've got fasting, nutrition, and longevity. I mean, man, this is incredible, right? So I've just gotten 5 here already, and you can just copy and paste those in here. And brain care and mental performance, I really like that. That's cool. All right, so sleep optimization, brain care and mental performance. I've got fitness and physical wellness. That's in there. Pop that in there. All right, and then we had stress and anxiety relief. Boom. Pop that in there. And we had one more, which is fasting and nutrition for longevity. Let's get that in there too. And boom. Wow. So just on those, we've got a bunch of product ideas already, right? Like definitely the sleep enhancing supplements, right? That's a cool one. I like this guided sleep meditation stuff, although it'd be difficult to sell a physical product, but you could sell a journal. You could sell weighted blankets. Definitely. I know that's a huge niche. Blue light blocking glasses. Those sound interesting. I know that was also very trendy for one point, so maybe that's not it. I like this sleep enhancing supplements. I'm going to put that in there. I think that's really cool. All right. Same thing here. Neurotropic supplements, digital productivity journals. I love that, actually. Or adaptogen-based drinks. Man, these are really cool. Custom brain care kits. Okay, interesting. I'm going to put this neurotropic thing and the digital. I'm going to put all 3 of these in there. Actually, I really like all of these. These are really cool ideas. Pop those in there. Keep going down the list. Fitness product, fitness kits. Yeah, okay. Interesting. Subscription boxes. Right. All right. Digital course. This one's less kind of interesting to me, but I do like the protein powder and the personalized at-home fitness kits. Whatever. I'll just put them all in there. Again, we're not picking our products yet. We're just getting an idea of what we kind of like and getting our brain going. I mean, definitely this journals and things. Oh, the acupressure mat. That's pretty cool. I like that a lot. And I like all these. I struggled with anxiety for a long time and still do. And so this is something that really relates to me. Organic meal replacement shakes. Not a fan of that. Recipe book. That's cool. Longevity supplement. And yeah. I like that. Let's put these 2 in there. All right. Great. Okay, well, I can just say already I've got like a couple of niches that really are interesting to me. You're going to do the same thing with all the ones that you score well on. If you really feel like it, you can go through for every single product. I would suggest if you have the time, do that, because you're going to get so many great ideas from this, and it just is such a good exercise. And I want you to fill this out. Once you've completed it, we're going to have such a great idea, a foundation of niches that we can work in while we go to actually do the in-depth product research. Okay, now that we've completed that niche idea exercise, you should have an amazing set of product ideas or niches already before we've even done any deep diving into these products. This is a really powerful way for you to help reach your ikigai, which I will show you in the next module, and we'll talk a little bit about that. Again, this step matters because you want focus. You want to be doing stuff that you believe in, that you're interested in. You want to make products that you love, in part because you know that product best when you know the niche. You're also going to make a better product if you believe in it, if you are interested in it. And when it comes time to marketing the product and scaling the brand up, you're going to create content and you're going to create a brand identity that revolves around providing added value to the buyers of your product. And in order to do that, you need to really believe in what you're doing. And so that's why this is the strong foundation for any product success and for building a brand. All right, so that's exactly how I go about finding my niche, identifying my first product categories to look deeper in and do a deeper dive on how to identify the actual products to launch on TikTok Shop and Amazon. And in the next video, I'm going to walk you through exactly how I go and find products using software tools and the data that's out there, so that before you buy a single product, before you source anything, before you build a brand, you already know what product is going to do well, and you have an idea of how to launch it and what kind of sales volume you're going to have. Basically, all of the information that's going to enable you to win in this game, because what you don't want to do is go out there without the data, without the knowledge and the information to make the right product decisions, because at the foundation of every great brand is a great product or multiple great products. So stick around for the next video. I'll be releasing it soon. And again, if you're interested in learning how to do this from somebody who has actually done it, not a fake guru, not somebody flaunting Lambos and screenshots that aren't real, you know the type, all right? I'm not that. I've been doing this since 2012. I've made my money. Let me help you make yours. Book a discovery call with me, 30 minutes of your time. It doesn't cost you anything. You're going to talk with me directly, not somebody else, and we'll see if you're a good fit for the program. I look forward to hearing from you.